This is the WJTS News. In the news tonight, Jasper Crash with injury leaves questions unanswered. Mid-States Corridor meeting brings hundreds of residents. City of Honeyburg awarded safety grant. Kurt Guxel will be in with sports, and our WJTS Informed segment continues with State Senator Mark Messmer. All to come on WJTS TV News. Good evening. I'm Jenna Schaffer with the news. The Jasper police are asking for your help in investigating a crash with injury. It happened Thursday afternoon at the 6th Street and Truman Road intersection. 31-year-old Bradley Epple of Jasper was waiting to turn left onto Truman when the light turned yellow. While making the turn, 24-year-old Brooke Sheeter of Jasper approached the intersection, crashing into Epple. Sheeter was transported to Memorial Hospital for chest pain. Epple suffered abrasions but refused EMS. Epple says that Sheeter ran the red light. Sheeter says she was proceeding through the yellow light when Epple turned into her path. Both vehicles are a total loss. If you witnessed the crash or you have any information, contact the Jasper Police Department at 812-482-2255 and ask for Sergeant Bauer. Jasper Middle School's parking lots were filled to the brim on Thursday night to learn more about the Mid-States Corridor project. Hundreds of residents had the chance to visit different stations. This was the last part of a 3-meeting series held throughout this week. Mid-States Corridor project spokesperson Mindy Peterson says they are quite pleased with the turnout.
We had a meeting earlier this week in Lagodi, and we had nearly 500 people at that meeting. That's a very strong turnout for a public meeting. I think we'll probably come close to topping that tonight if we haven't already in Jasper. So that just tells us a lot of people have interest in the Mid-States Corridor. They want to find out more about the project, and they really want to find out where we are in the process.
Peterson says they've received a lot of positive feedback from the community as well.
We have a lot of people who are very interested in the projects and want that improved connectivity could mean to the region.
But not all residents look at the project in a positive light. Peterson explains more.
You do have a lot of people who come to a meeting like this and they have concerns about how is it going to affect them, and specifically how could it possibly affect their home or their business. And anytime you talk about a major infrastructure project, there are concerns about where is that going to be? How close is that to my home or business? So those are some of the questions that we're getting. It's still early in the process, too early in the process for those answers.
Currently, project officials are looking at 5 potential routes. Each route runs through Du Bois and Spencer counties. Other routes run through Orange, Martin, Davies, Lawrence, Greene, and Monroe counties before tracking north. Peterson says they should have a final route chosen by this fall.
Right now, we still have 5 routes on a map, and those are large routes. Those are 2-mile study bands that are still being adjusted and studied and analyzed with in-depth engineering analyses underway, environmental review as well. So there will be movement, but we are now down to 5 routes, and by this fall, we will have a single preferred corridor identified. So the progress is there. We've made a lot of progress stepping toward that final single preferred corridor this fall.
And if you could not make it to the meeting this time around, Peterson says there is no need to worry.
Just want to say, anybody who was not able to join us, all of those meeting materials, the boards, the maps, the handout, the questionnaire, they will all be available on the project website. That's midstatescorridor.com. They can see all of those maps. They're high-res maps. They're able to download those. They can zoom in, get some more information. And we have a project office that is open 3 days a week as well. So if they have any questions, they can always stop by the project office, give us a call, and let us know what they need an answer to.
Their project office is located at the Vincennes University Jasper Campus Administration Building in room 216. If you have any questions, you can call the office at 812-482-3116. The city of Honeyburg was recently awarded a $20,000 safety grant. This grant is made possible through the Indiana Employers Plan, or IPEP. Schmutzler Insurance agent Brad Bowling and risk manager for IPEP Aaron Alsup presented a check to Mayor Denny Spinner, clerk treasurer Tom Dipple, safety director Travis Gentry, and safety department assistant Narissa Montez on Thursday. This will go towards purchasing safety equipment and providing training for city employees to help eliminate workplace injury. For more information, you can contact the Honeyburg Director of Community Development, Rachel Steckler, at 812-683-2211. The Jasper Animal Noise Ordinance was the hot topic at Wednesday night's City Council meeting. A group of concerned citizens say noises coming from a local dog kennel have disrupted their personal life. They decided to bring the issue before the council last December. Council members were already examining and updating these ordinances regarding dog kennels before the issue was brought up. However, concerned citizens say these updates do not go far enough. Those who have reported the issue were told the noises were not deemed unnecessary. The current ordinance covers obtrusive sounds with exemptions for commercial pet facilities, animal welfare, veterinary hospitals, and grooming parlors. These are covered by the general nuisance ordinance instead. Council members decided to table the discussion for now so they can hear more from the public. The 2020 presidential election and coronavirus could lead to an uncertain economic future. A crowd of business, community, and organization leaders gathered Thursday for the annual IU Economic Forecast Luncheon hosted by the Rotary Club of Jasper. The luncheon is an up-to-date forum with opinions regarding the world, national, state, and local economic outlook for 2020 and beyond. Economic panelists with Indiana University voiced predictions and concerns on topics like the coronavirus, as well as the 2020 presidential election and how it will affect the economy. The third speaker for the event, Professor of Finance at Indiana University Columbus, Ryan Brewer, tells why the coronavirus is a possible reason the economy could be affected.
And if the world is experiencing fear from something that has, somewhere in the range of a 1 to 2% perceived fatality rate that's easily contagious, that if you go to work, you're going to be in a petri dish spreading this thing around potentially, and somebody coughs, everybody goes home, then that's going to slow production, it's going to slow growth, and eventually it's going to slow the production of products, which will slow sales of products, and then the barber doesn't get business, they go home, they stop buying stuff, and that's the trigger that could inflict a recession.
The panel also discussed how the 2020 presidential election could affect the economy.
If you get a moderate candidate, I don't think much is going to happen. If you get Bernie or Elizabeth Warren in there, they're a lot more. Their economic policies are a lot more radical, a lot more socialist oriented. So they would be countervailed in all likelihood by the Senate. But if in fact the Senate had Democratic control and the Congress has Democratic control, which is predicted to be, and Bernie or Elizabeth Warren gets the White House, well, we could have some new policies.
Brewer mentions that GDPs could go down with time with a Democratic nominee. However, there would be a focus on income and poverty rates. Brewer says he isn't sure of the possible outcomes.
I don't know how that would roll out. Who's to say whether it would be good or bad? That's hard. That we'll have to find out. And that's why there's all this unknown going forward into the end of this year. 2020, it's probably going to be fine. Status quo, 2%, nothing major, unless the coronavirus takes hold. If the coronavirus takes hold, all bets are off. But then in 2021, after the election, we'll see who wins and see what new policies shape up.
Chair of Finance at the Indiana University Kelley School of Business, Charles Trzynka, shared insight into what 2020 holds for financial markets, stating that earnings will be below average but still positive. Bill Whitty, an Indiana Business Research Center associate professor and a retired economics professor from IU, shared the outlook for the national economy, highlighting his past forecast along with his estimations and predictions for 2020. 18 WJTS TV will air the Jasper Rotary Club IU Economic Forecast Luncheon this Monday evening, February 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, following the WJTS local news, and again on Sunday, March 1st at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll take a look at your weather forecast when we come back on 18 WJTS.